Yeah, well, the music is definitely made with the hope that it's energizing and gives you this kind of internal spirit, or rather amplifies the spirit that's already there. And that feeling actually can happen through talking. So, language and communication, you can amp people up that way. You can get that energy spirited up. You can, pump yourself up and others. So basically, I just want to use any means that I have within my reach to get that energy churning.
You spoke at the My Little Pony convention.
Yes.
How did that happen?
They asked me, much like Download Festival, they asked me here. My Little Pony asked me there. I will go where I am asked and where people want my party energy, and I'm only happy to show up. And a lot of it is new experiences for me. Sometimes it's unpredictable, but if you go in with, open mind, open heart, and a party attitude, it usually works out.
Yeah. Are you thinking about doing any political speech? Because you were appointed to be the Middle Eastern U.S. ambassador, right?
A cultural ambassador.
Yeah.
Well, I was asked to go to Bahrain to talk about, really like what we're talking about life, but also about music, and to meet with students over there and have a cultural exchange. The State Department in the U.S. was setting it up when they canceled it because they saw the photo of my bloody nose and they became very frightened. I don't blame them though. So, but no, I'm not very good at the traditional realm of politics and government. But I find some of it interesting, as much as anybody else, and some of it frustrating as much as anybody else. But I think that my strengths aren't so much in that realm. They're more in the realm of going like, "Wah!" And you're not supposed to do that when you're a president or something like that.
Yeah, no, maybe not.
Well, it could be actually what people, exactly what we need people to do.
Exactly,
flail around a little bit.
Real people.
Like,
how did it happen? I just read you had a collaboration with David Tibet from Carcass 93.
Oh, yes.
That's I love Carcass 93, but it's completely, that really kind of shocked me. How did you get together? How did you meet him? How did you decide to work together?
I always liked Carcass 93's music a great deal. I mean, there's a lot of it. The stuff I had heard, one song in particular, I was just completely blown away. It was one of those moments when you're just sort of out and about and you don't necessarily expect to have your mind blown. Next thing you know, you're hearing one of the greatest songs in your life, and you realize at that moment that everything's changed. Well, I had that happen with Carcass 93, and then years later, sort of through unpredictable people, managed to basically tell David Tibet, the leader of the group, that I would do anything to be able to play with him. So he asked me to play bass. Played bass in the band for a couple of years. Got to tour with them, and it was an extremely incredible, real privilege. Yeah, real privilege.
So did you like Death in June, all that stuff as well?
I like Death in June too. Yeah, Nurse with Wound, that whole scene. Throbbing Gristle, a great deal, of course. But Coil. I mean, there's a lot of groups. There's a lot of great groups.
It's amazing because you never know. I can really think to cross. It's very difficult to find someone in metal that likes that kind of stuff.
Well, hey, David Tibet is a very, very, very open-minded gentleman and very expansive in his tastes and what he is open to in life. Yeah, so it's really up to him. I could have asked, and he could have said, "No, stay away," but he didn't. He said, "Come hither," and I did.
Do you have any projects because you do lots of stuff? You do speech, you do music.
Different stuff.
You do different stuff. Well, what's your next project?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything. I didn't know I was going to be coming to do this. I don't know anything anymore about anything. All I do is party as hard as I can and then see what happens. Basically, I have turned myself over to the service of forces that I really have very little control over. But that's good. I used to think I was in control of things, but never really was, and now that I realize that, it's a lot more fun.
What about your book, The Party Bible? Is that?
Yes, I'm still working on it. It's very challenging. The first book I've ever written. Initially, it was about sort of general thoughts on life, and now through people's encouragement and strong urging, it's more about stories from my own life, which is challenging for me because oftentimes it's difficult to know when you're talking about your own life if it's very interesting or not. But hopefully people like it. I know that when I've read books about other people's lives, I like that. So maybe someone will like this, and hopefully they'll still be able to learn about things in general and But we'll see.
You don't know when it's going to finish, okay?
No, hopefully this year.
Hopefully this year.
Yeah, maybe next year. You never know. Again, I'm not in who knows?
You're not in control anymore.
I'm not in control of anything. Completely out of control.
Do you have any new material for any new albums? Are you doing?
A lot of stuff is stockpiled. A lot of song ideas, a lot of parts, things in waiting. But again, I have to be told to record it. So once that is set aside, I'm ready. That's for sure. I'm very excited about it. I mean, I used to be very frustrated and almost depressed about not, being able to record it, but it wasn't time. I wouldn't be here with you right now if I was recording the album. So I've got to follow the orders.
Yeah. Do you have, what's your touring plans? Are you just doing downloads? Are you actually touring?
Well, we constantly playing shows all over, different shows, but this is the one festival here now in this part of the world. And then hopefully we'll come back in not too long of a time. But again, I don't know. I don't anything about the future. I just don't know, except that I will be partying. That's the only thing that I'm confident in.
You actually have a club in New York, right?
Yes, this is true. I'm one of the founding co-owners of Santos Party House, which is in Manhattan, downtown. Quite, I must say, I'm quite proud of how diverse this club has been. We've had everyone play there, from Cannibal Corpse to Afrojack to Calvin Harris to Q-Tip to Busta Rhymes to Mick Jagger coming by to dance, which was completely mind-blowing. He just danced on the floor, and people didn't even realize it was him because they just couldn't believe that it was. So that was always a dream of my friend and mine, to open our own nightclub concert hall in New York City, and we managed to do it again through the support of a whole bunch of people.
Are you still playing? Is your drummer, the guy from Obituary?
Obituary, of course, is playing their own self again. There was a time when they were taking a short break, sort of, which was very sad in a way, being a huge Obituary fan. But I was 18 years old. I wrote a letter to Donald Tardy, the drummer, and asked if he would drum in my band if he wasn't too busy with Obituary, and he said, okay. And then my life changed forever.
Nice.
He basically formed my whole band. But now Obituary, of course, is back and bigger than ever. They actually are doing better than they've ever done, which is the most thrilling thing for me, being such a huge fan. I listen to their music literally every day. And there's not a nicer person in the world, or better drummer, than Donald Tardy. I'm forever indebted to him.
Do you ever think to go into more death metal kind of music with your music to write?
I mean, why would I even bother trying to approach the level of quality that Obituary and so many other bands have done? I mean, I can listen to one Obituary song for the rest of my life and know that I couldn't even begin to approach even a reflection of a shadow of the quality of what they're doing. That's what they were meant to do. Hopefully I'm doing what I was meant to do.